Hey guys, it's Zoe, and today I am going to be filming a reading, kind of like my reading list for the rest of 2020. I recently brought all of my books from downstairs upstairs, hoping that I could get back into reading by doing that. So I have 20 books here. I don't know if I'll be able to get through 20 books, but that's just my goal by the end of 2020, so December 31st. And yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so a little disclaimer, I will most likely mess up on most of the authors' names. But yeah, anyways, so I just finished this book today. I started it August 17th. It is now August 21st. And it's called If Only It Were True. And so it's basically about a girl who is in a coma, and her spirit basically ends up back. I believe it was her apartment that she lived in, where there is now a guy named Arthur who lives there, and he found her in his bathroom closet, and he is the only person in the world, as far as they knew, who could hear, see, and touch her. And so, sorry, a bird was hitting the window. So he had to try and figure out how to save her because they were preparing to end the physical care at the hospital, which would mean her spirit that was with him would have disappeared as well. So everything I'm going to tell you guys about with the books is just kind of going to be what you can get with the description that they give you. I'm not going to give anything away, but yeah, this has 16 chapters in it, and then yeah, I believe 16 chapters. So that was the first book I read, and I just started this one today, called Call After Midnight by Tess Gritson. And so this book is basically about a newlywed named Sarah who was waking up in the middle of the night from a phone call. She expected it to be her husband when it was actually a U.S. State Department calling with devastating news that her husband had died in a hotel fire in Berlin, but she was convinced that her husband was not dead. And so her and the U.S. State Department, the person who called her, go out and try to find him. Like I said, I just started this book, and so I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I'll probably do an updated video if I remember to. So that was the next book. So the third book I've read one of her books before, Sandra Brown, Shadows of Yesterday, and that so far has been one of my favorite books I have ever read. So I have another one of her books called Fiction, and it is about a guy who wants his daughter back following the death of his wife. Crawford, a Texas Ranger, fell into a downward spiral that left him I've been having problems like speaking the past few days, so I'm sorry for that in advance. Relegated to desk work and with his 5-year-old daughter, Georgia, in the custody of her grandparents. But Crawford has cleaned up his act, and now the fate of his family lies with Judge Holly Spencer. Ambitious and confident, Holly temporarily occupies the bench of her recently deceased mentor. With an election upcoming, she must prove herself worthy of making her judgship permanent. Every decision is high stakes. Despite Crawford's obvious love for his child and his commitment to being an ideal parent, Holly is wary of his checkered past. When a masked gunman barges into the courtroom during the guardianship hearing, Crawford reacts instinctively, saving Holly from a bullet, but his heroism soon takes on the taint of recklessness. The cloud over him grows even darker after he uncovers a horrifying truth about the courtroom gunman and realizes that the unknown person behind the shooting remains at large and a threat. So this one has 34 chapters in it. But as I said before, or I actually don't remember if I said it or not, I have been struggling with reading lately, and so I'm trying to get back into it. And that's why I kind of started with like this book. It was kind of shorter. But yeah, so this is the third book I want to read. And then the next one I have is Take My Breath Away by Martin Edwards. So this one says, lawyer turned writer Nick Gabriel is intrigued when his friend Dylan Reese starts to tell him a cryptic story about the connection between several strange and sudden deaths. He can't resist the invitation to meet up with Dylan and learn more. But at a glitzy party before they've had the chance to talk, Nick can only in horror as his friend is murdered by a woman whom Nick recognizes as Dylan's ex-girlfriend, who committed suicide 5 years before. Stunned by the killing, Nick vows to discover the meaning behind his friend's enigmatic tale. Meanwhile, Roxanne Wake is thrilled to be starting her new job at Creed, a leading firm of human rights lawyers. It is a dream opportunity for her, but Roxanne has a secret, something she dare not tell her new employers. She is determined to keep her past hidden at all costs. Take My Breath Away is a gripping psychological thriller from a master of legal mystery, packed full of twists and turns. This is a mystery that will leave you gasping. Like I said, I'm sorry if I pronounce words. I can't, I tend to like mess up what I'm saying or a lot, even if I know the words, or I may not know what the words are, and so I try my best to say them. But yeah, so that's the next book. And then I tried reading this one before, but it wasn't the book, it was me getting distracted and focusing on other things. But this is called Plum Lovin' by Janet Enovich. And so this one says, mysterious men have a way of showing up in Stephanie Plum's apartment. When the shadowy Diesel appears, he has a task for Stephanie, and he's not taking no for an answer. Annie Hutt is a relationship expert who is wanted for armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. Stephanie needs to find her find her fast. Diesel knows where she is, so they make a deal. He'll help her get Andy if Stephanie plays matchmaker to several of Andy's most difficult clients. But someone wants to find Andy even more than Diesel and Stephanie, someone with a nasty temper and someone with unmentionable skills. Does Diesel know more than he's saying about Annie Hart? Does Diesel have secrets he's keeping from Stephanie and the two men in her life, Ranger and Morelli? With Stephanie plumbing over her head, things are sure to get a little dicey and a little explosive, Jersey style. So most of the books I have are either like a romance type story or something to do with like murder or kidnapping or anything like that. I can't tell you where I got most of these books. Half of the time I like buy them at either Walmart or somebody else has given them to me, or the library in my city had a warehouse sale where you could get a brown paper bag full of books. I believe it was only for a couple dollars. So you would go into the warehouse, they would give you a paper bag, and you'd go and collect the books that you wanted. So yeah. Okay. So this next book I have is called An Occasional of Sins by Andrew M. Greeley. I'm just covering the city that I live in. But so this is one of the books I got at the library that I was talking about. And so this one says, one of America's most admired and popular authors gives us a powerful love story of sacred passion and carnal desire. In his long line of bestsellers, including The Cardinal Sins and Thy Brother's Wife, Father Andrew Greeley deals with spiritual and moral issues as revealed through visceral human drama. His newest novel, An Occasional Sin, is his most affecting and provocative book to date. When dashing Chicago prelate John Cardinal McGlynn is machured in Nicaragua, he dies in the arms of Meredith Quinlan, his beautiful female companion, murmuring, "God, how I love you." 2 years later, after the apparently miraculous cure of Marbeth's grandson, Jumping Johnny, McGlynn is being considered for canonization, but there are troubling questions about the cardinal suitability for sainthood, chief among them the ambiguous sexual nature of his lifelong relationship with Marbeth. Assigned the role of devil's advocate, Father Lawrence McAuliffe, for years McGlynn's greatest critic, must penetrate the cardinal's past for proof of sinfulness, but what he discovers is a complex chronicle of spiritual longing, sensual temptation, and the infinite mystery of faith. Moving from the dazzling home of Chicago, rich through shadowy vacant corridors, the Central American jungles, and occasional singles with moral ambiguities of human passion, and they are unique province of Andrew Greeley. So when I went to the library, there were a lot of people in there, and I went with my aunt, I believe both of my aunts. And so you kind of have to like hurry up and like grab some books. They kind of have it in sections, but you don't really have time. Well, you could, but you don't really have time to read like what the book is about. you just kind of grab considering like what the front of the book looks like. And so I've never read a book from him, I don't think, but we're gonna try it and see if I like it. So this next one is called False Conceptions by False Conceptions, a John Marshall Tanner mystery. And I believe this was also from the library. Yeah, this was also from the library. So when San Francisco detective John Marshall Tanner is hired to do background checks on a prospective surrogate mother, the job seems simple enough. There are only two stipulations. The surrogate must not know the identity of the contracting parents, and the investigation must be completed in 3 days. With some misgivings, Tanner checks out Greta Hammonds and gives her the all-clear. 2 days later, the embryo of Millicent and Stuart Colbert is implanted in her room. 2 months later, Greta Hammond disappears. The Colberts think she has taken the fetus to barter in an extraction attempt, but days pass and no ransom request is made. No barter suggested. It soon seemed clear to that Greta learned the identity of the child's parents and immediately fled. But why? The answer takes Tanner deep into the secrets of the Colbert family, whose history includes both murder and incest and a bitter struggle to control of an immense fashion empire. So like I said, most of the books that I have will either mention murder or like anything like that. When I was younger, I used to read a lot of romance, and I still do, but lately I have been picking up books, with murder and crime and just anything like that to kind of keep me more interested in a book. So I think I'm going to do a part 2. I did 7 books in this one, but I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to most likely upload this video today as I'm filming, and then film the next one. So with school starting soon, I don't know how many videos I'll be uploading the first few months. I don't really have a set uploading schedule right now, just because of school and me like going back and forth to my dad's house, which I haven't been doing. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will most likely be part 2 to this one. So comment down below any other video ideas or book suggestions. I would love those as well. Give this video a thumbs up. If you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload, and I will see you guys the next time I upload a video. Bye. Love you.